Welcome back to Bank on Purpose. I'm Bill Pace,
I'm
and
Jody
this
Ogden. Today we've got the legendary Lance Riggen with us today. Now, Lance has got all sorts of credentials and all sorts of experience in real estate and everything. And so we're glad to have you here today, Lance.
today on Bank on Purpose, we're joined by a man whose name carries weight in every room he walks into, Lance the Legend. Lance Reagan from Tyler, Texas, has earned that title by consistently showing up, doing the work, and helping others succeed along the way. He's known for creative deals, steady leadership, and a heart for his community. Lance, it's an honor to have you here today.
Guys, let's get a photo real quick. I know we're recording, but all right.
All right.
Nice. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so like I said, there's a lot of ups and downs. At the end, people only see what we paid, the structure, and then what we exited. Uh, they didn't see the heartache, the pain, the misery in between, the sleepless nights, the waking up with anxiety. Not sure if it's going to pencil out. We've got brought in a partner who put $200,000 into this deal, right? So you've got to stay positive and stay focused, and you've got to know what the end goal is, right?
Yeah.
So it all starts up here in your head, and you can win or you can lose. It's up to you. You know what I mean? Like you're your own worst enemy. Like, I mean, it's crazy because what you speak and think about will come to existence. If you're always down on yourself saying, "Oh, I'll never be able to do a deal that big." Oh no, that's out of my, wheelhouse. Then you're never going to do it.
Yeah,
You know?
I think it's Henry Ford that quote that said the quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're
You're right.
100% right.
Yes. Yeah, I think
So
so. That's a great quote.
I use that with my 10-year-old all the time because he's
Hmm.
kind of more on the negative side. And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, and he'll tell me I can't. And I said, you're right.
Yeah.
But can you think this way? And
Yeah.
then it changes. We literally went through one of them moments this morning like that. So,
Nice.
um,
Well, it's powerful, man. We read all the time. I've read, I don't know, I don't know how many hundreds of books, maybe over 100, easily over 100 books. We read every morning. Sometimes I'll read the Bible. Sometimes I'll read a self-help book. Sometimes I'll read a motivational book. Sometimes I'll read an investing book. I've got books right up here, the Strengths Finders test, strengths in leadership. We've got the 360 leader, John Maxwell. It's one I'd like to see again. I get to go see John Maxwell in Houston this Saturday.
oh,
And
sweet.
I think Ed Milet's going to be there, and another handful. It's going to be this kind of Christian, motivational kind of business event. I'm really excited about it. I talked both of my kids into going. I paid for their tickets, and
Wow.
so they're 25 and 18, so that's the time where you need to hit them with this stuff, because they're, especially my son. He's like, he's working at a hotel, he's not making, service industry greeter, you know what I mean? First job. So,
I
but
actually think,
reading and growing is crucial to
yeah,
this.
I can get your book here in a minute, but actually, I think the younger we get them started, the better. See, I started my first entrepreneurial deal. Didn't know what it was or anything. I just saw an opportunity. We had neighbors that had pecan trees and a
Hmm.
lot of neighbors that didn't. And so I asked the ones that had pecan trees if I could pick up their pecans, and they said yes, of course. And then I went to the ones that didn't have pecans. Now, not everyone bought, but I sold pecans that I got for nothing and sold for something. And
Nice.
so I did that at 8 years old. And
Hmm.
so I mean, my story is the bad thing is the school system, I was also good at school. And in
Yeah.
about the sixth grade, the school system shut that down. And
Oh
yeah,
man.
so that's where we're pivoting right now. And with this 10-year-old,
Yeah.
he was wanting, honestly, I was sitting in Wyoming, Lance, and we're talking on the phone. He says, when's the next time I can do one of your videos? Because, I was trying to get social media done and everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, why don't we just make some for you to make for your own? And
Yeah.
we've come up with this huge thing. So now it's in the making, but we're looking at starting to teach kids from literally 5 and 6 years old how to be entrepreneurs with purpose, financial literacy, and all
Love
that.
that.
So,
which should all be taught in public education, but it's don't get me started on that
Why
Yeah.
because
not?
Well,
the
the bonus side is
it's
that
bad.
we're in Jesse
Stan.
Stanton's
Mhm.
a group
Yes,
group, and he had just pivoted and everything. And with him pivoting, it was perfect timing for us in this because it just the school system beat it out of me. I
Mhm.
homeschool my son so they can't beat it out of him. We are solving a big problem. The school system can't teach something they don't know.
That's right.
And then on the other side of it, the people that know that control the school system,
Yeah.
they don't want you to know anyway. They want you to work for them.
No, no. Well,
So
that's unfortunate. They don't even teach kids how to balance a checkbook these days or how to balance budget. None of it. They don't teach you any of that. And I'm not going to get down that rabbit hole too much, but I
yeah,
have to say
That
this.
went way back in the 70s or 60s. I
Well,
mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I think
I'm old and
that
they never taught me that. You
think
yeah,
know,
they still
late
don't.
50s, early 60s is when the Rothschilds started getting their hands on some of this stuff, and I won't go down that road. But I will say this, they're they're teaching kids to work for the government, to work for the system. They don't want entrepreneurs out there. They want you to be a sheep and be a good boy and go get a job and feed into the machine, right? That's it. I mean, it's
exactly.
obvious, it's blatant. They don't teach you to be an entrepreneur. They don't teach you anything about finances. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
crazy. And then they expect you to kick your kid out at 18 and good luck, right? And it's the American culture is insane to me why we do that. I have no idea why. We're the only culture on the planet that does that. And
That's
it blows my mind. I told my son, he turned 18 over the summer and graduated high school. I was like, look, you don't have to leave. You are going to pay some rent, you know. You're going to be an adult, right?
yeah, it's time to
But
be an adult, but use your brain. That actually we're going through that with my
it'd be a
18-year-old
fraction
right
of what you're
now.
going to pay out on your own. You're going to pay a
Absolutely.
third of what you're going to pay out there, and you can save your money and stay here and
Yep.
eat for free, basically, you know.
Yeah. On top
But
of this might be what it costs, but if you take and stack this cash and then invest it right,
yeah,
so and that's the cool thing with Odie and what we're doing there is we're doing that like Grant Cardone does his daughters is he will make an income from this business and partnership that we're starting with him, but
yeah,
he don't get to spend that. That has to
hmm
go into investments.
yeah.
And then the investments, when they pay you, that's the money you get to choose whether you spend it or whether you reinvest in yourself or you get the choice there. But beforehand, there's not a choice because in all honesty, that's how you buy your freedom.
I love that. You know what? I went to when I went to that BP con in San Diego in 22. I signed up for some classes, right? They have classes you can go to in the conferences, and the one I signed up for was it was like in the young entrepreneur class where they would give you tips and tricks to help entice and pull your kids in who were in their teens, right, into your world. And the biggest tip I took away from that, and it worked, was to basically bribe your kids, you know, to read certain books, and he goes if you're going to pay your kid to take out the trash and do yard work and you know things that they already are going to have to do, why wouldn't you pay them to get an education? Why wouldn't you pay them to read a book that could change their whole mindset
That's
and change their life? I go, oh my gosh, I never
that's
thought of that.
brilliant.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was a brilliant idea. So when my son was 16, I paid him $100 per book. I had him read two books. And it was Rich Dad Poor Dad, of course, right? That's like the
Yeah. Yeah.
ultimate shift
Yeah.
book. And then you quiz him afterwards, right? To make sure he reads the whole, to make sure he knows the concept. And it was amazing though. Within that first week after he read it, he started asking us a lot of questions. He
Yeah.
goes, "Man, I don't want to have a regular job, you know, my whole life. Why would I do that?" I go, "I don't know. You tell
Yeah.
me."
That's
But
good. That's good stuff. I wish I'd have known that with my oldest two daughters because they're grown now and they honestly are
yeah,
they're in this mindset of like the system has got them where
yeah,
you can't even afford to buy a house, and
yeah,
versus the one of our foster sons, he's 24 years old. He just bought his first house.
nice.
And then obviously, like I said, with Odie, what we're going to do, and the plan is for him to have at least three by the time he's 18. So at that point, even if they're 50-50 with me, at that point, with what we're making on these over here, he'll be able to choose. Well, do I want a job? Do I want to go to college? Hey, do I want to go to Europe for a year? Because he'll have the money coming in whether he works or not, because he's
Yeah.
the money he's earned on his business and the investing, not the investing side, but the earned income side
Hmm.
will make it where by the time he's 18, he's fully got all the choices that he needs, not just the shackles that most of us go through, right?
Yeah, that's cool, man. I wish I could have done that too, but there's definitely something to be said about, your kids standing on your shoulders, and that's kind of what we wanted,
Absolutely.
we didn't get quite that far because we had that mid crisis in 2020 with my wife and everything. We probably could have done a lot better with that business, but we just wanted out. I was about to just leave the keys in the door, but we have equipped them with not an education per se, but an education, right? They've got to see us
They
go through and be entrepreneurs and do multiple businesses and try different things until we found what worked. And they got to see our work ethic. They got to see us struggle and grind and work hard, and they never went without. They've always had the shoes they wanted, the clothes they wanted. We took them on some cool trips, Disneyland, Lake Tahoe trips and camping trips all the time. So to me, I did great. I was like, man,
oh yeah.
to come to find out, my daughter's like, oh, we were poor. We were poor. I'm like, we were not poor. We were like low middle, like middle class. We were not poor.
Yeah.
You
She
didn't drive
had
a Porsche to
horseback
work.
riding lessons. She played soccer. I didn't get any of that stuff, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
you come to find out, because I didn't have designer brand names, like we were poor. I'm like, no,
Yeah, yeah.
you didn't have a coach
It's
perch. Like, what?
it's
Are you kidding me?
it's funny, but you did teach them the best thing. That's the bonus side there is and I just my youngest daughter, she's what 26, just 27 right now. And
Yep.
she's going through one of those spots that, rough spot in life, and it happened because of a car she just purchased and whatnot not too long ago.
Hmm.
And as she's going through that, I was talking to her a few weeks ago, and she's telling me about it, and she's like, in between one week when it was really hitting hard and then the next week when I talked to her, she's like, I thought about it and I saw you and mom go through this and I saw you get through it and what y'all did, and so I know I'm getting through this just fine.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
that's the best way. I mean, in all honesty, if you ask me, you can, well, I know for a fact you can tell them a lot because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad when my girls were little. I
Yeah.
bought the $100 cash flow game. I guess it was like 196 when I bought it.
Dang.
And I played it on a regular with my girls. So
Nice.
that is not near as important as actually them seeing you do it.
Right. 100%. Yeah, exactly. So it's been great, man. Like I said, we're focused on RV parks now. I think it's really a good play for at least 5 or 6 years. The cool thing is we've owned this other park for 2 years. We brought these other lenders in early this year, or these equity partners in. So now we've got credibility, experience. So now we can get loans and refinances from banks. Because we've got the experience. That's a really big hard part. You cannot get a loan from a bank or a DSCR loan. Like no DSCR guys will do RV parks right now, but the banks will. Local banks will do it, especially if you have fixed assets, right? Bolted down. Like, so we're looking at bringing like tiny homes in,
Mhm.
to increase the NOI, increase the value of the park, and then cash out refi in 18 months. That's the game plan. And it's incredible what you can do. Like the value goes up exponentially. It's crazy. We're going to take these parks that say we're looking at a couple one at $3 million right now that's got 80 pads on it, right? We take and put 20 of these structures in, bolt them down to the concrete pads, and now we have physical, actual, structures, and you can get loans and financing on those, from a
Yeah.
bank. You can't do that with RVs.
Yeah.
It has to be on a foundation, literally bolted or welded. They'll bolt plates and then weld the homes down to the plates, like with the container homes. That's another option we're looking at. But pretty incredible stuff, guys. These the deals we have already. Just to mention, and I know we're running late. You guys will chop this up, I'm sure, but we already own $6 million in real estate, and so we have enough real estate now to be wealthy in about 5 years, 5 6 years. we'll be wealthy. We can sell. We'll be millionaires, right? In 5, maybe 10 years for sure. But my goal is to make $100,000 a month in profits. Even if we make 100,000 in gross, I'll be happy with that, right?
Oh,
Taking home 60, 70,
oh,
but
it's going to be horrible not to reach the 100,
I know, right?
right?
But man, when my wife's like, "Oh, could bring us 150,000 a month," now that wouldn't be just me; that we'd
Yeah, no,
split it with
no.
our partner and everything.
Yeah.
But still, that's going to get us really close. You know what I mean? It only takes the 1 or 2 deals to change your life, and so
That's where I think, honestly, Grant has I mean, not to jump in with him, but he has the better play on the big deals, or his mindset's better. That's it. The big deals are as easy to jump to and do as the small ones. So why not just jump to the big ones? And
yeah,
um, I don't know. I'm not there yet either with you, Lance, but I think he's got a good play on that because if you can figure it out, because that's what it all comes down to, the mindset and figuring it out, right?
yeah,
And
that's
then
right.
and then maybe it is the right partner and the right connection, and then you just go after that connection or whatever.
Yep.
Um,
No, that's
go
it.
back
I
to
like networking. I tell people all the time, hey, well, I had people like the last Squad Up Summit, and we should probably close here, but I tell these, unless you guys have any other questions, but the Squad Up Summit, last year and this year, okay?
yeah.
Last year was the first one, right? People were reaching out to me, Lance, can you just tell me what are they going to be teaching? Why, what am I going to learn? Like, is it going to be worth it to spend that kind of money? And I go, honestly, I don't give two rips about what they're teaching or training them. That's not why I'm going. Yes, there's going to be some solid gold nuggets there. Yes, I'm going to learn some new stuff, but that's not why I go to these conferences. It's to make connections and to look for my next $1 million partner at this place. If you go with the proper expectations, I'm going to go, I'm going to meet some people, and we're going to make a lot of money together, right? That's why I'm going. And when you go with that expectation, that mindset, people are going to show up, you know?
Absolutely. I think you
So,
nailed it. I think you nailed it there. The first squad up, I chose last minute to do it and everything worked
yeah,
out and everything. And I made a few connections and whatnot. This last one, I went with one goal and I even paid for VIP. I had one goal
yep,
and that was go network. I was inside that room where they were doing the big part of the conference, a whole
yeah,
lot less than I was outside.
yeah,
I mean, not 80%, 90%. Now I
hmm,
missed some good things that were said inside, but there was recordings for that. And then
yeah,
there's people that could tell me about that too. So I'll say I
yeah.
missed a little bit of that, but the connections are the most important part of that.
Oh, yeah. And you got to hear, what was his name? Jordan Peterson. I was so pissed about that, man. Or was that just the Owners Club?
Oh
Was
no,
that
no,
in
that
the
was
That was
just
only
the
VIP?
Owners
owners
Club.
club. Yeah, I didn't catch
Ah,
Jordan Peterson, but Tim Story did come into ours, so that was still
nice.
pretty good. And I honestly I'd never heard of Tim Story
I was
before
so tweaked about
that.
Jordan Peterson, man. That was part of the buzz, right? To get there. It was like, oh, Jordan
Yeah.
Peterson's going to be a speaker. And then we all get hosed. I was like, I was not happy about that, man. I was not happy
Yeah.
at all about that.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of a backdoor thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people weren't happy about that.
Yeah, I'm
It should have been
sure. I
put. It should have
was,
been put in the advertisement that this is only for these people.
yeah, I know. It was a good marketing
But
ploy. Pace is great.
Oh yeah.
He's such a freaking, like, he's a savant, a marketing savant, really. He knows how to market to people. He's so good.
Yeah.
I love the
Um,
guy, but that was a little bit. That was yeah.
That was, brother. That pissed me off too. We were all pissed off about that. My whole crew was like, "What the hell, dude?"
Great stuff, Lance. Thanks for that share. It's great to hear from Lance the Legend.